It feels so weird to sit in front of the camera. Well, hi, I hope you don't forget that I exist. Yeah, well, it's been a tough year. I didn't have energy or mental space to do booktube. Sorry, life happens. But yeah, I want to go back in some kind of normality. And I thought that just reading wrap up might be a nice video to do so. And also, yeah, it would be the first reading wrap up since my 2020 spring wrap up 8 months ago. And you know what? I haven't read that many books, so don't worry, I won't spend hours watching my reading update. It would be fine. Nice and small. The downside is that in case with some books I don't really remember a lot of my experiences and emotions reading them because it was like half a year ago or something like that. So I'll try. Well, I guess we should start with the books I've actually finished. And at least it's quite short, let me tell you. First of all, I've read that comic book. I think it was in my Reading Rush tuber. I'm not sure, honestly. I should have rewatched my own videos to update my memory a little bit, but I've just read the list of the books under my previous wrap-up to go to the Goodreads and know where was the last one on the update. And yeah, so it was this comic book, little kind of love story. I don't remember if I showed you. I have a feeling that I showed it many times in TBRs, but I don't remember if I said here that I finished it. I haven't liked it at all. I was even kind of thinking maybe I should unhaul it, but I bought it on the convention. It is signed, so I think I feel kind of bad unhauling it. But the artwork is cute. I like the style, but the story itself didn't resonate with me. Wasn't interesting for me. So yeah, maybe I'm not like the target audience of the book. So can't say a lot about it. I've left like 3 stars on Goodreads. Then, I've read Good Omens. I don't have my physical book with me, but yeah, finally read Good Omens. It was kinda on hold for a while because first of all, I really wanted to watch Good Omens, first of all, because my best friend is a huge fan of it. But me, being myself, I really wanted to read the book first and then to watch the series. And I really wanted to buy very specific copy because some of the covers aren't great. I really wanted to buy the movie edition cover. Finally found it, read it really quickly. It's quite a chunky book. Absolutely loved it. Yeah, huge fan. And I watched Good Omens, the series after that. Also absolutely loved it. I kinda wanna buy Funko Pops, the main characters now, but I don't have spaces on the shelf, so we won't talk about it. You know, usually I'm not a fan of a series that adds something, that changes something comparing to the book, but in this case I felt like maybe it's because the Neil Gaiman was the writer, and also how do you say this in English? He participated in writing the movie. I don't remember the term on the top of my head. Maybe because he was the author of the one of the authors of the original book. Maybe that's why the additions felt really cohesive. Like it enriched the story. It felt right. Like we get a little bit of extra details about the characters. But also, I really love the book. I don't know if it's a translation of it was a part of original writing style, but the best as I've could compare it as The 12 Chairs by Ife Petrov. I don't know if it's translated in English. I know there's a lot of film adaptation and maybe there is like English one or English one inspired by the book, but I don't know if the actual book is translated, so I don't know, could I recommend it, because probably most of our viewers are native English speakers. But yeah, some of like elements of the writing styles, the comparisons, and all this kind of things, like it was like that top of satire. I don't know how to explain it, but that's kind of the only book that I've read that was really, really similar in the style, and I absolutely loved it. Movie is also great. I rarely ship gay couples in fiction, but their energy is strong. Well, I don't know how some people view them as best friends. I mean, like seriously, but maybe it's just me, okay. Oh, well. Next, after that, I've read another comic book, but I forgot to add it to my Goodreads, so I need to update it really. So also last year I watched Stranger Things, and I got the comic book on my birthday. It's quite short, we read it in one evening. I can't say I love it as much as I loved the series, but it's interesting and also adds another level, of details to the story. But yeah, you should probably, if you wanna read the comic book, I think you should watch the series first, because there's like some details, because the main character, like, she can see the future, and she was seeing kind of the details that you would understand only if you watch the actual series, because it's kind of a prequel. I like the illustration. I mean, I quite enjoy this kind of classic American comic style. I also really like different also styles, and which, like, if you look in the European comics, there's a lot of artists with their own unique styles, but I don't like manga. I don't know why. It's like I just I don't vibe with the illustration style, and especially because it's really monochrome and really minimum shadows. It's more like textural. Just not my thing. It's just in terms of style. But I've read a couple of mangas in the past, but it was a while ago. And then I was also kinda in this process of reading a couple of like financial planning books, and watched a little bit of Dave Ramsey. Well, not a little bit, probably quite a lot of Dave Ramsey on YouTube. Also decided to look through a couple of books, but how would I say it? If you watch quite a lot of his live streams, you will like know the basics of his system, and like there's no reason to read the books. Or if you prefer to read this type of books instead of like listening to a radio show, you can read like one, and that's it. You don't need to do anything else, because it's kind of repetitive and all over the place. I've checked, I think 4 of them. First of all, I've read Total Money Makeover, the book and the workbook, which was pretty unnecessary because the workbook kinda repeats the same stuff. It's just has extra like forms and questions, stuff like that, which I find kinda unnecessary in my opinion. After that, I've tried to check the financial piece and something else, I don't remember. Like money questions or something like that, don't remember the book title. It's kind of the same things again, because the actual system is plain and simple. You don't need to read 4 books to understand it. So yeah, I've kind of put the other 2 in a DNF pile. I've also tried to read a different financial book by different also, which I'll come to it a bit later, but it's often like really specific to the country or to the certain target audience, because in case with Dave Ramsey, it's like their target audience is like American, living a certain lifestyle, Christian, and like quite spiritual. I don't fit in any of the categories with like I'm technically Christian, but I'm not a believer. And well, so even that doesn't like vibe with me in any way. His system is pretty simple, straightforward, and nice, but you know, just a lot of the writings, like I was like, yeah, okay, this doesn't apply to me. Let's just move on. And again, they does give a lot of technical details because it's supposed to help people, but because I'm not the target audience, I don't live in the US. Just like a lot of things doesn't apply to me at all. So I feel like I shouldn't read the books. That just watching through the radio show would be completely enough, and the going through the books was just a little bit a waste of time. But whatever. Also, I've tried to read another financial book. So it was Money Lessons. It has a long title, but it has like Money Lessons on the cover, by Lisa Conway Hongus. Hongus? I don't know. This is a British author, and again, the book has tons, like pages and pages of specifics about the British system, like what you can do, like types of savings accounts, like organizations, blah blah blah. Doesn't apply to me at all, so most of the book was kind of pointless. I found like a couple of good pages, but like, I don't remember the total number of pages. I've read it as an ebook. I think I've like scrolled through like maybe half of it. I found like 3-4 pages, which was like, oh yeah, it's interesting, it might be relevant, and like need to go through this exercise. It sounds nice. Through the whole book. So I again DNF'd it. If you live there, it might be really helpful to you. For me, not much. So can't say a lot about it. And then we are moving to a whole bunch of kinda in progress books, let's say. That 2020 was awful, and I wasn't feeling great, and I've noticed that interesting thing, like usually when I have like a normal mental state, I really like to read dystopia. Like the more dystopian the merrier. Like give me the dark vibes and hopeless futures. But like when I feel like I have a hopeless future, I don't want to read about it because it makes me even sadder. So I kind of put on hold a couple of books because of it. So first of all, I was reading through The Trail of Lightning by Rebecca Ronhorst. It is the first book of a series, The Sixth House, I think. It's kind of, I always want to call it urban fantasy, but like technically it's a post-apocalyptic world. There's not a lot of cities, so there's not a lot of urban environment, but for some reason, like it's not a classic fantasy with elves and something, but like I don't know how I can describe this specific genre, because I'm not a huge fantasy reader. So as you can see, I've read through like a little bit, like more than half of the book approximately, and kind of stopped because post-apocalyptic environment and like death of the people and all this kind of harsh stuff. I really want to return to it later, or at least when I will feel fine, hopefully. The book is actually really, really great. I was surprised. I usually don't read fantasy because I don't vibe with like magic and books. I guess like the Harry Potter is like was pretty much the only exception. I think I can't think about any other book. I usually read sci-fi, but yes, that was really nice because it's more like the gods and different spirits living there, and not like classic magic as you might think about it. Also, I kind of put the book series on hold. And I forgot the series name. Lucy Singh, the first book is Three Body Problem, and the second is Dark Force, and I think there is a third one. And I finished the first one, really loved it, really wanted to start that one, but The whole point of the story is that, like, there's like this alien race that wanna come to Earth and destroy humanity and colonize the planet because their own planetary system is total garbage. Which also doesn't sounds like really happy and encouraging. So, and another book, again post-apocalyptic, was The Hollow Kingdom by Kira Jane Buxton, and it's quite funny. It's written from the kind of point of view of domesticated crow and who watch like all the humanity is turned into zombies randomly, and he just goes and tries to save everything because he likes humans and he wanna life to be the same. And I don't know how the book ends. I read like maybe 1/3 of it approximately, but it's that point of a book, everything looked dark and hopeless, like everything is burning down, there is no hope of humanity, everyone is dying, there's just like zombies everywhere, everything is horrible, you can't do anything with it. You know, so it's kind of on hold as well. I don't know when I'm gonna finish it. I really want to finish, but not right now. But yeah, I want to finish the video on a more positive note because I bought some books and I finally bought the Hitchhiker Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. Really wanted to read the book for a while. It's kind of sci-fi classic. I think you could call it like that. And it was really great that I bought it because it's nice, it's fun, you know. It also had sad moments because the book literally starts from the storyline just where the aliens just blow up the Earth because there is like transgalactic road for the spaceship going through this area and they just destroy the planet. And like the main character and another woman, like two people from the Earth who are alive, you know. So it doesn't start like super positive, but the writing style is super funny, it's hilarious, it's just so light and great, and I absolutely adore it. And you know, but that one is this edition is chunky. I think it's like not just the Hitchhiker Guide to the Galaxy, but in the content it has like 5 stories. So I assume it's like a collection, but I'm not 100% sure. So I'm on the 4th one. I don't know why I haven't finished it yet because I've read through like a huge chunk of the book like in 2 days, I think. And then I just put it on the shelf and it was sitting there and I wasn't reading it. So yeah, I hope I'll finish it soon. I really liked it. It's really quite positive one. You know, there is like darker storylines, but characters and the writing, it's like more on like a funny side still. So yeah, that's it. That's the whole written wrap up for my past 8 months. Well, you know, sometimes that happens. I haven't reached my Goodreads reading goals in 2020, like not even close. But it is fine. It happens. I was kind of sucked into a different new hobby, and it takes a lot of time, and it can't sew and read at the same time, and I don't like audiobooks, so I kind of, yeah. I could have read more books, but it didn't happen, so. Yeah, also, I can't promise that I will be online quite often. I have a lot of plans for the future videos, but I really want to do the Storming the Hogwarts Road one that I've promised. That looking at the content, it probably might be a couple of separate videos. I'm going through like the plan structure because I really want to give a lot of video recommendations in different places and just trying to go through like make a cohesive plan, and it takes a while. So I haven't filmed it yet. I haven't even started because it's a planning stage is in progress. And also I really wanted to do a bullet journal video, but my journal arrived I think like on 22nd of December. I needed to start a new one because I was running out of space in the previous one. And my Tombow Marcus came somewhere in the middle of January. And then again, I want to make everything nice, and I don't have a lot of time, and I still haven't finished transferring all the information and completely filling my new bullet journal for the next couple of years. Yeah, so I don't know if it's too late, if I'll film it like in April or something. I feel that's a realistic timeline for me to finish it. But I made a few interesting spreads I think you might like. And also I changed the journal sizes. Now I have this beast. It's A4 size. It's ginormous, but I noticed that even before pandemic and working from home situation, I wasn't carrying my bullet journal around me because basically like almost the only place I will go out was work, and I haven't used it at work. So you know, for me it's fine if I have a gigantic journal which will sit at home, and I will use it at home exclusively. So yeah. I use like some digital planning tools if you want to. If you want to like planning system update, let me know as well. I think it might be interesting. Yeah, sorry, we were talking about books. Yeah, okay, it was a bookish video. So so this is kind of, I can't say it my TBR because I don't have a strict plans for myself, and I have well, quite a lot of other stuff. There is like some non-fiction down there, the new non-fiction that I haven't read yet. So, but let's assume that's my TBR, or at least that's on the TBR for sure. And the other two, it's like maybe when I feel better. So yeah, I think that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and also thank you very much everyone who was commenting under my videos while I wasn't filming. Yeah, it was really heartwarming. I really missed you. Yeah. So, bye bye.